I recently took a cruise on one of Celebrity Cruises' older but arguably one of their most popular cruise ships. I honestly didn't know what to expect, seeing as Celebrity Cruises had previously built somewhat of a reputation for catering to a more older, seasoned demographic. However, I do have to say, as a younger-ish man in my lower 30s, I was pleasantly surprised, satisfied, as this cruise was overall pretty wild. I'll explain in the video. The ship that I'll be sailing on would be the Celebrity Reflection. It launched initially in 2012, however, underwent an extensive refurbishment in 2023. It's the fifth and last ship of the Solstice class at 17 decks and holds 3,400 passengers at full capacity. I will be taking an 8-night Eastern Caribbean cruise out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, all while staying in an AquaClass veranda stateroom, which I'll show you later on. However, the itinerary and destinations that I'll be visiting would not be the reason as to why I would choose to go on this cruise. This ship, the Celebrity Reflection, will make history as the first cruise ship within the Celebrity Cruises fleet to visit Royal Caribbean's private island Perfect Day Coco Cay, all while offering 3- and 4-night sailings starting this spring in 2024. I am curious to see how all of this is going to work out, considering, like I said, Celebrity typically caters to an older demographic. 3- and 4-night sailings is usually what we call in the cruise world a booze cruise, which typically does have the possibility of bringing in a younger audience. So I did want to go check the ship out and see exactly how all of this will play out in the long run. On the first day of my cruise, or Embarkation Day, I honestly didn't expect too much. I figured it would be the normal routine. It was very effortless and easy and convenient arriving into the cruise port in Fort Lauderdale. I could see the Celebrity Reflection. I was dropped off. Looking around, I knew I would be with an older, seasoned crowd. However, I quickly realized that I was probably going to be the youngest person on board. But I would be surprised later on, which I'll show you, because this crowd, yes, they were no spring chickens, but they were wild ones. Do keep in mind that really, no matter what cruise line you sail with, anytime you go on a cruise that's longer than a week, you are typically going to see an older crowd. Anyway, once I arrived inside of the terminal, it was a very quick and easy process getting from the terminal on board the cruise ship. The first thing I noticed when I got on board was the grand foyer. Taking a look at the grand foyer, I immediately saw the inspiration as to what Celebrity ended up becoming on their newer ships. At this point in time, I had only been on 2 other Celebrity cruise ships, which was their newest ships, the Celebrity Beyond and the Celebrity Ascent. However, you could see the development, and I thought it was pretty cool, and it was a beautiful area, just smaller when you compare it to Celebrity's newer and larger cruise ships. As I arrived to my stateroom, I was legitimately curious to see what my AquaClass veranda would look like. Would it be older looking, considering the ship's age, or would it be modernized, considering the ship had undergone a refurbishment just a year ago? I do have to admit, I was a little disappointed, as the rooms were definitely showing its age to some degree. However, it was well kept, and it looked pretty nice and functional overall. And considering it was AquaClass, it does come with a lot of cool perks. For example, yes, you get the veranda, the balcony area, cashmere mattresses. You get access to the Blue restaurant exclusive to people only staying with the AquaClass package. You also get access to the thermal suite on board, discounted spa rates, complimentary fitness classes, healthier room service options, free water bottles, which I got a lot of, yoga mats, and something called canopy service. Basically, you can have the option to have snacks or cookies brought to your room every single day during the early evening hours. It was dangerous, but very delicious and nice. I also got a free bottle of champagne delivered to my room, as well as $100 of onboard credit. By the way, if that sounds nice to any of you, do keep in mind that I booked through my travel agent sponsor, Lux Rally Travel. I myself am a travel agent, and I also have very knowledgeable colleagues that can book your cruises for you without charging you any fees, in case you consider, let's say, going on a Celebrity Reflection, or any cruise ship for that matter. Check us out, link in the description box below. Checking out the ship, it was very beautiful and modernized. I was thoroughly surprised. It was also, in my opinion, the perfect size. The only thing I can compare it to is really, if you guys have ever been on Royal Caribbean's Freedom of the Seas, think of Freedom of the Seas' sophisticated cousin. It had a beautiful library area that I felt like I gained IQ points just being in. The pool area was very nice. It was the first time I had ever seen shaded areas on the top decks. It was convenient, and there were plenty of lounging areas for people to hang out. The bar service was also immaculate, very quick, very speedy, very courteous and professional, and well, they hooked up the drinks, and I'm not saying they were heavy-handed. However, they made sure that you had a nice, good pour. By the way, do keep in mind Celebrity Cruises is considered a premium line, meaning they are somewhat of a midpoint in between the standard lines like your Royal Caribbean, Carnival, and NCL, and your luxury where you have like Cunard and Ritz-Carlton. It is a nice area, meaning they're going to have premium drinks and amenities available to you. The spa area was very nice. I did love it. I spent a lot of time over there, especially over in the sauna. I couldn't get over how similar this ship looked to even Celebrity's newer ships. It looked like basically the same product, like I said, just a little bit smaller and more condensed. The feel was still the same. It didn't seem like things were kind of bogged down a little bit like you would see if you were to go on, let's say, a newer ship versus an older ship. It was still more or less the same product. It had the same restaurants. I did go to the Sushi on 5. On the newer ships, just called the Raw on 5. Very delicious sushi. I went to the Tuscan Grill, had a nice steak, very delicious. I did go to Blue, check out the more wellness options and healthier options that they had there. I went there twice when I was on board. I did check out the buffet, which was surprisingly packed. When I had gone on newer Celebrity cruise ships, usually that area was, for the most part, vacant during the dinner times. Of course, like every other cruise ship during breakfast, everybody and their mom is there. However, I understood because the buffet food was surprisingly good. Let's talk about the entertainment, because I have said in previous videos, I do believe that Royal Caribbean and Celebrity as a whole, the Royal Caribbean group, does provide some of the best entertainment at sea. The only comparison I would say as far as a brand that is not with the Royal Caribbean group would maybe be NCL, because they do a lot of Broadway shows. But for this specific ship, the shows were good, not great in my personal opinion. Typically when I had gone on newer Celebrity ships, I was absolutely blown away. Like I said, shows were good. I did like them. I enjoyed them. I stuck around. And even as far as the comedians, they were still good. There was one guy, he basically was like a R-rated Robin Williams. I did enjoy. I thought the comedian wouldn't be that good. I was thoroughly surprised. But the production value overall, I would say slightly above average, when normally on Celebrity cruises, from what I've experienced, were a lot better. My favorite part of the cruise was without a doubt the nightlife. Yes, Celebrity cruises provided a lot of activities to do during the evening hours. Yes, they had the singers. They had a lot of silent discos, which I'm not a huge fan of. However, the audience seemed to love it. But overall, this was without a doubt the wildest group of older seasoned people I've ever seen in my life. I was ready to go to bed, and these people were out shaking a tail feather and gyrating literally all night long, every single day of the week, whether it be in the Grand Foyer or up at the top deck in the nightclub area. Even though I was one of the youngest people on board, there's probably about 5 people on board that were around my age, it was a very active crowd. Like I said, in the nightclub, I did dance a little bit. However, there were people in there doing splits. There were old ladies in there trying to break dance after she saw me. It was just a wild time, and I enjoyed the entire experience. The only thing I would say that was kind of, I wouldn't say a negative, but needed some work, was the flow between the nightly activities. They'd go from the silent disco, and then there'd be like a weird gap in between the events that were going on in the Grand Foyer, whether it be the bands or the silent disco or any music that was being played, versus transferring everybody up to the nightclub. I do believe if they're going to offer the 3 and 4 night sailings, they gotta have somewhat of a better flow as far as navigating those people and legitimately telling them where they can go next to continue partying on. For this cruise, I was more so focused on the cruise ship rather than the ports, but the ports were definitely nice. Personally, I would prefer the Western Caribbean over the Eastern Caribbean, but if places like San Juan, Puerto Rico, and St. Martin, and Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic is your steez, your type of place that you'd like to visit, then yeah, you would have had a good time. And considering, once again, this is a premium line, Celebrity did stay there for a very long time, giving you ample enough time for you to really enjoy yourself and indulge while you're in the ports. Overall, I do believe that when this ship switches over to the shorter itineraries, it is going to be a major success. Personally, I'm trying to go back whenever they do decide to do that, because I do believe it is poised to house, let's say, yes, a younger crowd, but a more sophisticated younger crowd that maybe wants to go a step above instead of doing Freedom of the Seas. I also do have to point out that Celebrity is known for not having a lot of kids on board. Yes, kids can come on board the cruise ship, and there are things for them to do. However, a lot of people sail with Celebrity because of the lack of kids. Whether you be in the solarium or, let's say, really any place on board, they got this nice reflection tree area, which was pretty cool. Lots of reading spaces, lots of things to see and do. I do believe that really anybody of any age will be happy, but once they start doing these, I guess you can call them getaways, they are going to have a very successful product that everyone is going to enjoy. Is this ship absolutely flawless and perfect? No, but no ship really is. Do I understand why for a lot of people it's their favorite cruise ship and their favorite class? Absolutely. It doesn't take a year and 10 days to get from one side of the ship to the other. It is a very well-oiled machine, and with the exception of maybe, let's say, the rooms are a little outdated, not a lot of outlets and stuff like that of that nature, the bathroom is pretty spacious. I do believe, like I said, everybody is going to enjoy, and I will 100% be back. Also, keep in mind that if somebody had ever wanted to sell Celebrity, let's say you find folk and you couldn't get it for the right price, I've seen a lot of attractive deals going on with these shorter sailings. You should probably look into it. And when you do, make sure you check us out at luxrallytravel.com. Once again, link in the description box below. I appreciate you guys for watching this video. If you want to see my vlogs from my time on board the Celebrity Reflection, just check out my second channel, Jay the Nomad. It's in the description box. Of course, on your way out, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Know as usual, I love and appreciate every single one of you. Thanks for watching this short review. Take it easy.